So, hello everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. Yes, we are live, and I'm Itzik Amiel. We are here with a weekly Switch interview series called it Switch It On, when we talk to smart and talented people on how you could switch on your own practice and maybe even your life. And you're very much invited. So, if you watch now, you see it is live, and you're very much invited to join us here. And today we're going to talk about something that a lot of you wanted to talk about, and about an interesting, amazing expert about it. But the things that we all call in our industry client loyalty, or unlock your client's loyalty, or in different words, how can you better your client experience to increase your client's loyalty, to retain them for the longer term, for lifetime. Again, one thing I will ask any of you joining us now, please type your name in the chat box to see who you are. Our guests will see who you are. That you're joining us is important to me to see you, so don't be embarrassed. Share us your name and where you're dialing from, so we could share it also with our guest. Again, do it in the chat box if you're asking, and on your name where you're from, and guarantee it will help you a lot for your own branding. So, as I said, I have a special guest. I have the honor to have this live session with a great CX expert and a friend. And today, my special guest is Nate Brown. Before I invite Nate to join us, I love to talk about people behind the back, because it's always embarrassing to give them the company in front of them, because half of us don't believe what we say about ourselves. So before I invite Nate, let me give you some highlights about him, because Nate is perpetual students of the world's greatest experiences and the people who create them. Having spent the first decade of his career managing a complex technical support environment for occupational health and e-learning software, Nate really transitioned himself to customer experience in 2015. And after authorizing the CX primer, Nate was dubbed the CX Influence of the Year. Look how much you can build your authority fast when you're sincere, when you're authentic, we talk about something you love. By Cloud Cherry in 2019, and top global CX thought leader by ICMI, Exceeders, Natomi, MarkTech, and many, many more. So those of you there who don't believe you can build your authority, reinvent yourself, Nate is a very good example for that. As a passion project, Nate really created also the CX Accelerator, a first-class virtual community for customer experience professionals. Nate serves as a senior director of customer experience for Arise Virtual Solutions, and can be found at a variety of conferences where I met him, speaking and training on CX topics he loves. So without further ado, I want to bring Nate around, and welcome, Nate, and thanks very much for joining.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me on. I'm so excited for this.
Awesome. First tell us, why do you wear a pink jacket? I didn't see all the time wearing pink jacket, right?
Well, Arise, they challenged us to wear pink this month. We're celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So wanted to put this on and just remember and encourage those folks.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And those of you listening to us, yes, it's Breast Cancer Month, and awareness is very important to all of us, because a lot of us know people who got, and if you could support in that way, do that as well. Thanks for that, Nate, and welcome first. It's great to have you, and I know you're busy, a lot of interesting things, and I love that you come to talk about this, one of my favorite subjects. So first, thank you very much for your valuable time.
Oh, well, thank you for having me. I was drawn to you like a magnet at that Frost and Sullivan show, and have been following you ever since. So it's a huge honor to be on the show with you. So thank you.
Awesome, great stuff. And if you have permission, let me set the stage a little bit for our viewers, which are not in the daily basis doing client experience. I don't know, some of them don't do at all. But because I read recently a surprising research, I must say, that shows that 90% of clients have positive emotions at the end of the service they got from a professional firm. But that's great. But 44% of the client have not heard from the firm since the matter was completed. That's what the service said. I was shocked. No, wow, what a missed opportunity. So many people are happy, and you don't do nothing with it. Now, if you create a client experience that produce a happy and satisfied client, then why aren't more professional firms building on this drive repeat business? Or even what exactly, when I said about happy experience, what exactly constitutes a happy experience? And how can really we ensure that we create the best overall satisfaction, if you want, for our client, so they return to us again and again, and of course we're going to be less hard, so they become maybe even more loyal to our firm. Not everybody wants that. And moreover, if Nate, before I'm giving you permission to talk, if we take a brief look outside of our industry, the professional sector, and I know you're going to talk about, there are many lessons professional can learn from other industries about client loyalties, about client experience. So again, another question: why is so many firms missing this insight?
Yeah.
They're just trying to invent the wheel. And that's exactly the reason for this special session with you, Nate. And I want people to listen carefully to help us more understand more how to unlock what we call clients' loyalty
Mm.
by creating even better client experience. So, Nate, I already told you that I love to start my sessions with 10 questions in 1 minute. I know it's challenging to every guest, but I promise it'll be
Ooh,
fun.
yes.
And
Okay.
these are just very fast questions that, by the way, those who listen to us, I can see you, Davesh, Daniel, Gray, Danny, Alex, all of you there. Just put your name on the chat box. Let us know you are with us. Please do me a favor. And more than that, if you want to participate and answer also the question I'm going to ask Nate,
Ooh, would
just
love
do
that.
our guests also try to give your answers to this 10 question I'm going to give to Nate. So,
Speed
Nate, are
round.
you ready? Are you
I'm
ready?
ready. Let's go.
Okay, so let me share the first one. Here we go. So, number one, Nate, client experience is about client perceptions, client's
Mm.
wishes, or client market intelligence.
Client wishes. That's awesome. Well, it's definitely client perceptions is what matters in the work of customer experience. We're trying to enhance people's perception, the way they feel about our brand. Great question.
Awesome, awesome, great. Number two, what is a true statement?
Mm.
CX builds loyalty, loyalty builds good CX, or there's no connection between CX and client loyalty at all.
Once again, the answer is A. That would be CX builds loyalty, and I can prove it.
Okay, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about today for sure. Number three, loyal clients are equal to recognition by client delight, maybe to a client brand promise, but with great client experience delivery, or it's very hard to define. What will be your
Yeah.
answer?
I mean, a loyal client is going to be somebody that comes back, that you open up that share of wallet, they utilize you, they encourage others to use you. And the ones here that are going to cause that to happen is going to be B, clear brand promise plus great CX delivery.
Absolutely. And I think you're great in that. They're going to show us today. Number four, I mean, to measure client experience, you need to have the right instruments, check what competitors are doing, or listen to the voices of the client.
Oh yeah. Well, so there is a clear starting line to this work. And in order to begin and to do relevant things and then to measure those relevant things, it's definitely C, listen to voices of your client. That VOC engine, as Gene Bliss would put it, you gotta have it.
Great. And then, as you know, it's so hard to do. I mean, for a lot of people, listening is such a hard thing. Number five, your relationship with your clients have a direct influence on their experience. Is it not always? You bet. Or don't put words in my mouth, Itzik.
Yeah, it actually maybe a bit of a surprise here for folks. I am going to go with not always. I mean, there are some really transactional relationships that we have with B2C clients in particular, and sometimes it just doesn't matter that much for certain groups of customers. But generally, in the types of client relationships we're going to talk about in this episode, yeah, they do matter, and absolutely, especially as we enter into a bit of a period of maybe skimpflation, these relationships matter when it comes to long-term loyalty.
Absolutely. Thanks for that, Nate. And you see the difference between Nate and others that he's very authentic in his answers. Number six, building a winning client relationship is about the starting point, the whole process, only specific points in the journey.
Ooh, well, this is tricky because there is the classic peak end rule, which would say that the end point is what matters most in our memory. But it's definitely the whole process. If we try to break out certain points and just focus on those, we will miss the client journey at large.
And absolutely, we're not going to see an authentic to the client, right?
Yeah.
Because there's going to be certain points. Number seven, CX is the work of making people lives better and easier. Absolutely not. Are you crazy, Itzik? Oh, with no doubt.
Well, I see read my favorite tweet that I've ever made. And I do personally believe that the work of CX is making people's lives better and easier. You're not going to see that definition from others necessarily, but at the end of the day, what we're doing, we're reducing friction, we're bringing harmony, we're improving the experience of our workers inside the organization, our employees, and thereby the customers. We're making people's lives better. This work is really important.
Absolutely, Nate. And you know what? This is the definition because I was scared
Thank
for
you.
me to say I love people, and I know that's the secret of life. So trust me, that's not a boring definition. That's the real meat and the heart of the whole CX experience.
Thank
Number
you.
8, outstanding client experience is for clients' loyalty. Good to have, rarely connected, or very essential.
Is definitely connected most all of the time. We can't always explain exactly what clients do. Sometimes their behavior is very sporadic and mysterious, so it's not always connected, and we can't always make the correlation. But usually we can. And outstanding client experience is going to be the competitive differentiator to earn loyalty.
Thanks, Ned. And you know that you didn't choose any of them. You just invented your own answer. Thanks for that. Number 9, professional firms need to have a client experience
Ooh,
officer. Ambitious thought, Itzik. It's definitely the time for it. Oh, yes, but not now.
ambitious thought indeed. I love this question. This will be hard to squeeze into the time frame here. I'm going to say yes. Somebody needs to lead the CX initiative. Whether they need to be a CXO and exactly in that type of role, nope.
Awesome. I agree 100% with you. I mean, because there's no time. There's not going to be a voice coming from the sky saying, now it's the time. You make the time. Number 10, the best result for firms that excel in designing great client relationships is grow revenue, retention of the right clients, or retention of the employees.
Oh wow, this is a tricky one. It's like I'm going to go with C. I mean, really, if you're not retaining your people, the backbone, the lifeblood of CX is going to drain out of this body of your organization. So I mean that has to be there. Otherwise, those other two will become irrelevant very quickly.
Awesome. And I'm sure that we're going to talk about it a lot more today. So awesome. That was fast. And I hope for a lot of you there, very insightful of the thought, the pattern. You see, Nate, it's possible to do it in 1 minute. 1 minute,
That wasn't so
whatever.
bad. I was nervous about it.
So that brings us the next part, I mean, of our discussion. And because I shared in my short intro to you, Nate, that you've been working a CX function for a while now.
Mhm.
And notice the changes that are happening in the market. So to keep our viewers up to date, my first question to you, Nate, is how has the client mentality changed in the past several years?
Oh wow. Well, I mean, if we wind back the clock, it used to be all about value, just that money, that monetary value. Is this worth it? Is this transaction worth it to me for me to invest my money? Well, now we kind of shifted in the early 2000s to time. Is this company going to value my time? Are they going to help save me time? Do they make it easy for me to accomplish my objective towards my definition of success? And a lot of that wisdom came from corporate executive board and the effortless experience. So we kind of entered that era, which we're still very much in, of ease of business and friction reduction. Well, now, I mean, I feel like the behavior mentality has shifted again to kind of this third sphere that's even more loosey goosey in a way. It's even more difficult to really pin. And it's this idea of mission driven CX. And it's something I wrote about at length on the Officium blog. Would love for you to check it out. But yeah, I mean, money still matters, time still matters. But now we're assessing, does this company see the world the same way that I see the world? Their stated ideals, does it resonate with me? Because if I'm going to invest my time and my money and my energy into this organization, I want to make sure that I'm investing into the type of change in the world that I want to see in my communities. And so we're
Wow.
looking for brands. We're looking for their authenticity. We're looking for their stated ideals. I'll tell you this. It's like last night, I had an organization that I'd utilized for years and years and years. And I was made aware through somebody very close to me of something very troubling about this organization and their
Wow.
core values. I immediately disassociated myself from that company and deleted an app off my phone. 4 or 5 year relationship with that brand. Immediately was like, I cannot stand for that. There's no way I can be a part of that because it was a scary change to me. So I mean that's now what consumers are thinking about. Does this company care about the same things I care about?
Wow, that's deep, because indeed, if I'm thinking out loudly with you, I mean, most time we're buying a product, we consume a service, we don't even think about it. But yeah, you're right, because we are so, I mean, the ESG coming, all the stuff, we're so concerned. We're gonna look, we're gonna examine it even with the super glasses, and
Mhm.
every split of information can cause people to move. And sometimes imagine all your clients move away because you're not. Wow, that's really devastating. It can really kill the company, really mop them out of the map.
But
That's
it's the
serious
same
business.
things. You can't be all thing to all people. So I mean, you're trying to form a bold identity of who you are and how you're trying to serve your customers. And then through the authenticity of the delivery of that promise, you bring your customers to you. that belong with you, that will be loyal to you. That's not going to be everybody. And it shouldn't be. So it's not about the fear of hacking off a particular group of customers. It's more about knowing who you are, staying true to it, and then effectively attracting the customers that belong to you.
And it fits very well what I teach, branding, etc. It fits very well because we say if you focus on everybody, you get nobody.
Right.
So those who are not, maybe with the client experience, you should look at it more carefully. It's actually, if you look at the medical world, we see it very easily if you compare, the nurse, the family doctor, the surgeon, and the pharmacist, and then you see exactly who's getting more traction, who's really closer to the client, and who's really serve them or get paid even more. Those are really more focused on the right people and not just be generalists on everything. But you are. Let's make a new discussion because I think there's more questions coming up in my mind now. But I encourage everyone you up there joining us, and I can see you again. Please put your name in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're dialing from, and also, by the way, if you have questions for Nate during the show, definitely put them in the chat as well, because I want to ask your question to him even before my question to him. But if you don't ask, I'll continue asking my question. And you are here, by the way, those who are joining us. I see you, Alex. Thank you very much for joining. You're invited to learn more about unlocking your clients' loyalty. And I want to ask Nate the next question. Let's dive into the interaction between two elements that I was and still am very interested to learn more about, because I'm talking about it and very interesting to learn, is a branding and client experience. We just mentioned it. So how does a brand, or if you talk about firm brand, professional firm brand, really get going in the area of what we call client experience?
Yeah, that's a great question. I had it right next to me this morning. Oh, here it is. This is a very helpful resource for that question. Denise Leon Fusion, talking about how culture ultimately fuels the brand promise, and then through that, the customer experience delivery and the integration, the critical overlap between all three of those things. So that, being able to know what the ideal customer experience even looks like, you've got to have a vision of that in your mind so that you can align people to it. But then the real starting line of CX work in my mind, and this is certainly debatable. There might be people right now that will blow me up over this a little bit, and that's okay, because this is very artistic work. CX. There's not a locked in playbook for this work. Trust me. It's voice of customer. we can't jump into the organization and start making changes to the experience until we know how that's going to impact the lives of our customers. Really. Otherwise, we're going to be doing stuff that's irrelevant, doing stuff that might even do damage. In the best, the one scenario, even the best case scenario, we might make changes that have a positive impact, but then we can't prove it. We can't earn the right to do the work more by showing our executives, here's how we isolated friction. Here's how we improved the lives of our customers. And here's the meaningful return that we gained through their share of wallet and through their loyalty. That capability all comes from voice of customer.
And I agree with it. In the end of the day, client experience, all we're doing is actually deepening the authentic building relationship with our clients. That's what it is. It's a reflection of that. And as you know, I always speak about building relationship. You give attention, you're not trying to get attention. Ooh. And to give attention, you need to listen to other people, in that case, the client. So if you try to invent beautiful thing and try to look how awesome we have, amazing client experience, that's not going to improve the client experience, because the client never told you they need this.
Yeah.
They may be even annoying them because you're spending their money on things they don't care about, and you think it's amazing client experience.
It's really easy to run off into an assumptive-based realm. There's even a lot of folks that do voice of customer, but they only do it at their convenience, and they only do it in a way that perpetuates their own agenda that they already had, the things they already wanted to do. Real voice of customer is hard. It's messy. It's inconvenient. It's a lot of times it doesn't make sense. It doesn't align to the strategic priorities of the business. And in that friction, in that truth, wrestles the CX leader. And out of that comes a more relevant strategy for the business. Out of that comes the truth of your customer and how you can make your products and services more relevant than they've ever been. So you have to wrestle through that tension. And if there's not tension there, I would say you're in a very dangerous place.
Yeah, love it. Especially, when you said it right, especially, when the people who pay, the people who find the voice of a client are the company themselves, not the client, so you're going to get what you want to be found anyway. So otherwise you don't do your job, you don't get paid. So that's indeed ridiculous, but you're right. By the way, those of you joining us, I'm here with Nate Brown speaking about the unlock your client's loyalty when we talk about client experience. And I want to say hi to those of you joining us now. It's not too late. You're still in conversation. We're still here. Have some question to ask. And if you have a question, please put it in the chat for Nate so I can put your question in front of him. And if you're joining us, always welcome to put your name and who you are, where you're dialing from, so we all know you are with us in the room. Now, if you're
If you're
interested to learn
wondering
more
where I'm
about,
from,
go ahead.
I'll give people two hints if they're wondering where I'm from. I have a coon hat. I have a mandolin. So see if you can guess where I am.
Now, if you're interested to learn more about Nate, not to invite you to play music for you and his work, you can also check his website. What I talk about is CX Accelerator, and let me put it on in front of everybody so you can see it, cxaccelerator.com. So that's the website. You can find more information, connect with him also on LinkedIn for sure. He'll be happy to do it for you and get you more ideas, because we're not going to cover everything today. But if you also, by the way, if you want to make sure you never miss one of our weekly Switch Out the interview series, follow me on LinkedIn, go to the Switch Hub website, and you can sign up and get my business development strategies and tips. But also, we'll add you to the email list where you get regular reminder about fantastic guests as Nate as today. So you're not going to miss it. Those of you complain all the time, you're not learning where and when is this. Anyway, let's continue about the practical topics of unlocking your client's loyalty. And if nobody asks question, I'll continue asking question. Because when it comes down to implementing client experience strategy, and I'm jumping up because I know a lot of our folks don't even have anything about it, but when we talk about implementing it, because everybody's thinking in advance, what will I do, how do I implement it within a professional firm? Not only that it is hard, I also heard many times from many professionals that they fail to make the difference. They fail standing out with a firm with a client experience, because they thought, okay, client experience is a differentiation factor. If I do it well, I'll stand out from all our competitors, and they're failing there. So for you, Nate, why do so many CX initiatives really fail to make a difference?
Yeah, this is an inconvenient truth, as it were. As a CX leader, there's upwards of, depending on who you look at, whether it's Bob Thompson's research from a couple of years ago, or Forrester or Gartner, it's somewhere probably between 75 and 90% failure rate in terms of CX initiatives failing to make a meaningful difference inside the organization. And I do use that word initiative very purposefully, because this work is not a program. This is not an initiative. I mean, think what we're doing here is like we're changing the thoughts and hearts and minds of people towards our brand. There's no finish line to that. You
So
don't get to ram
you're
this.
never going to finish it.
Yeah, you don't get to ram this into a quarterly priority. And let's see if CX works to generate some revenue for a short term. No, it doesn't. That's not how this operates at all. This is more of a changing the way you think about your customers, and it's changing the way you do business. It's really changing your culture. We talk about a customer-centric culture all the time. You cannot do a CX program without a customer-centric transformation, which is very, very difficult to do. But people don't see that. They don't correlate those two things closely enough. And so they go off and try to run a program, and ultimately it is destined to fail. So what we need to do is go through a customer-centric transformation, which looks very different.
Wow. I mean, I was laughing because, it's the same problem I have all the time with the firm, with follow up and other stuff. If you don't appreciate, it's like, they ask me, how long do I have to follow up? The same answer, you have to start, but you're never going to stop. I mean, how much you're going to follow up about your parents or your friends? Or did you stop? I mean, there's a project? No, you have to follow up. The same thing here. Building relationship is something forever, but you need to start. When you start, you're always going to implement. There will be new things coming your way. There will be new development. There will be more tools. There will be so many other things coming your way, but you be serious about it, you'll open up to those things. If you're not, and that's what's shocking me in it, because in our industry, the majority of the firm have never thought about client experience. I mean, now after Corona, when it's about client retention, and they started to realize, oh my God, I don't have really a relationship, and I don't have any process that I can really build it up in the right way, give the client the experience. So I don't need to sell anything to them. We lawyer hate to sell. They buy by themselves because they're so honored to tell all the friends, we know who's my lawyer, and that's this person. I mean, that's the moment the clients are proud of you. It works. They will be loyal. And I'm sad to say in our industry, it doesn't even exist really. So all your valuable insight is very, very important to all the listeners. and everybody who's listening to us. So thanks for that.
Of course.
Anything else you think that you want to, when hearing me, want to really make people aware, or where should it start? I mean, they listen to us, okay, I think, you bug something in the virus in the brain. Where should they start? There are somebody working in the firm, managing director, partner of the firm. They like it. They want to do something. What will be the first thing to do?
Yeah. I mean, it's classic John Coder. It's change management. What we're trying to do is bring a change into the organization. Well, if you remember what the first step is on John Coder's brilliant methodology for leading change, is to establish a sense of urgency. You got to wake people up. You got to make them want to change for some reason. You sending out an email or giving some lip service to CX in an all hands meeting, that's not going to do it. What you need to do is establish a true sense of urgency around this customer-centric transformation that you are now willing to undergo. And you've got to have some real meat behind this to make it happen. And that second one is that meat. It's a CX Change Coalition. It's a group of leaders that together represent the overall customer journey. And they together are taking this CX strategy, that ideal definition of CX we talked about before, and they are bringing it back to their teams so that you can do true CX journey management together. You can't throw CX over here. You can't go hire a CX leader and expect that leader to somehow penetrate and bring CX to that entire organization. You do need somebody to coordinate this and to guide it and to unlock it inside of that CX Change Coalition of leaders that represent the customer journey. But that CX team and that CX leader can't do it on their own. So it's about you bringing this mentality, bringing this excitement, this energy, this urgency to customer experience and embedding it inside of all of your leadership team. That's how you get this to work.
Love it. And I love that you didn't say go find somebody who can do it for you, because it's you all part of that. Develop this client experience. There'll be somebody, hopefully a coordinator, help you managing it. But you, each one of you that are listening to us, have to be part of it, because it's your client at the end of the day. You're part of the firm, you're part of the management, you're part of the leadership. So I want to summarize this great session, Nate, if you allow me, with a quote that definitely can inspire a lot of our listeners, many of you there. A quote by actually Walt Disney, who said, wherever you do it well. Do it so well, so when people see you do it, they will want to come back and see you do it again. And then will want to bring others and show them how well you do what you do. And I think that's the power of that people tell people, tell people, tell people. And that's how important the process for the growth of every practice, of every firm, is not anymore a choice. You have to make that happen.
Mm-hmm. That's
right,
a great
Nate?
quote.
Anything else in the end before I'm going to say thank you to everybody who joining us and didn't ask a question? And but there's no worries, because I had a lot of questions to you. So I mean, now the time, my friends, to take action seriously, as Nate advised each one of you there. You have to make a sense of urgency about the subject. It's not anymore a choice. You complain, do something about it. I hope you learned a lot of an interesting thing from Nate. You've been here with Nate Brown. As I said, he is a top CX expert, consultant, speaker, and senior director of customer experience of Arise Virtual Solution. I mean, I want to thank you, Nate, for now. For you've been fantastic. I know the time passed very fast, but I always love speaking to you, and I know people will hear more for what we're doing here, because I think it's an important subject. Thank you very much, Nate, for that.
Oh, my pleasure. We'll hop on over to arise.com and check that out. And CX Accelerator, just that nonprofit community for CX professionals. You can learn more there, and would love to be a resource for you. So don't hesitate to reach out.
Awesome. And we're going to put everything there as well, so you'll be able to reach Nate. And Nate and myself want to thank each one of you there that decided to join us, listen to us, if it's live, or even if you listen later on for the replay. That's fine. I hope you learned a lot of it. Thank you for joining us. Remember, next episode is next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. But now it's your time to switch on and unlock your client's loyalty by really building a much better client experience. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Bye
you.
for now.